Let's step into the turbulent world of West Brom, where passionate fans are crying out for change. The historic club, founded in 1878 and one of the Football League pioneers in 1888, finds itself at a crossroads and on the edge of a financial crisis. For years, West Brom's financial track record was pretty solid, enjoying stability in 8 consecutive seasons from 2010 to 2017. A rollercoaster of promotions and relegations in the Premier League kept the club in the thick of the action, until the arrival of Chinese businessman Guochuan Lai in 2016. And things looked promising, but as mysterious loans with eye-watering interest rates began to surface in the club's accounts, optimism gave way to mounting debts. In our third episode of How Not to Run a Football Club, we delve into an overview of the mismanagement by new owners, transforming a once stable institution into a club grappling with an uncertain future and a looming financial crisis. West Brom are a very successful club within their long history. The Baggies have won the league once, back in 1920. They've also won the FA Cup 5 times in 1888, 1892, 1931, 1954 and 1968, and the League Cup once. And in recent times, West Brom have played in the Premier League for a total of 13 seasons. They have been relegated 5 times and promoted to the Premier League 4 times. This is commonly known as being a yo-yo club, a phrase used for clubs regularly promoted and relegated. And the highest West Brom ever finished in the Premier League was 8th place in 2012-13 under former boss Steve Clarke. This was a season when a young promising striker Romelu Lukaku helped propel West Brom into European contention with his 17 goals on loan. I wonder whatever happened to him. That season finished with a 5-5 draw with Manchester United, which goes down as one of the most iconic top flight fixtures. The Baggies crashed Sir Alex Ferguson's final game in management in the process. Fast forward to July 2016, West Brom entered their 7th consecutive season in the Premier League and their 139th year in existence. This was also the time owner Jeremy Peace sold his now 88% stake in West Brom to Chinese businessman Lai for somewhere in the region of £175 to £200 million, with 12% being owned by S4A, a group of around 400 fans. And the fans had the right to be optimistic about the future, with the owner coming out with a statement saying, "I have no wish to change the club's ethos or embark on an unsustainable spending spree. I want to be a good owner and to invest in the club for the long term." Well, what a load of old rubbish, because that's when it started to go downhill for West Brom. The story began to surface in 2017, when West Brom shareholders received consolidated accounts for the first time in 3 years and noticed a mysterious loan. This particular loan was $3.7 million to West Bromwich Albion Holdings, a company then owned by Jeremy Peace. It has been alleged that Peace used the loan to increase his stake in WBA Group, the club's parent company, from around 66%. But the $3.7 million is understood to have never been repaid. WBA Holdings was passed to Lai when he bought the club. This isn't the only loan that fans are concerned about. Now, this is just an overview and might not be the full information of all the loans, but let's briefly go through them. There's the MSD loan, taken out to fill the parachute payment void of not getting back into a Premier League to finance the general business operations of the club. This was secured on the club's assets, including the stadium. That totals £20 million borrowed, and the interest that is occurring on top, which is currently charging nearly 15%. They have 4 years to pay off that debt. There's the loan to one of Lai's other companies, Wisdom Smart Corporation Limited, during the COVID-19 pandemic. That was £5 million, with a fixed interest sum of £50,000, but that interest has accumulated after Lai missed 2 self-imposed deadlines and is no closer to being returned. But we're not finished there. Then there's a One Front Holdings loan. They lent Lai £2 million which he secured against 2.35% of his shares in the event that he wouldn't repay it. They could claim a very small ownership stake in West Bromwich Albion Group. That £2 million loan was agreed with a 5% monthly interest rate from June 2022. Now, to put that into perspective, the debt will hit £10 million by March 2025 if it's not repaid. So I went and reviewed West Brom's recent accounts for 2021-2022. Despite finishing 10th in the Championship after relegation from the Premier League, the club saw a noticeable increase in pre-tax profit from 100k to 5.4 million. This rise was primarily attributed to a £30 million boost in profit from player sales, climbing from £4 million to £17 million, largely thanks to the sale of Matías Pereira to Al Hilal. While revenue experienced a significant drop of 39% from £107 million to £65 million, cost-cutting measures successfully reduced expenses by 31% from £111 million to £77 million. West Brom's 39% revenue drop in 2021-2022 was primarily driven by a nearly 50% decrease in broadcasting income from £97 million to £52 million in the Championship, despite parachute payments. On a more positive note, the return of the fans to the stadium post-COVID-19 restrictions resulted in a significant increase in matchday revenue, soaring from 74k to 5.1 million. And to offset the decline in revenue, the owner implemented substantial cuts in staff. The wage bill was slashed by 45% from £77 million to £42 million, and players' costs dropped by a third from £25 million to £16 million. But other expenses more than doubled from £8 million to £18 million, primarily due to the higher cost of staging games with fans. So, what does this all mean for the future of West Brom? Well, it's the fans that are being impacted the most. As mentioned, to offset revenue decline and debts, the club had to move players on to help cope, meaning there hasn't been and there is little to no real investment from the owner into the on-field team, and that process will likely reignite in future transfer windows, which in time can only impact the team's general performance on the pitch. Baggies fans, spearheaded by supporters group Action for Albion, have made regular controlled protests at the way the club has been run, which is what we love to see, the fans coming together to protect their club from incompetent owners. However, despite this, manager Carlos Corberán is keeping West Brom as competitive as possible. He took on a team that was second from bottom in the Championship after 16 games. He lost his debut match, a 2-0 loss to Sheffield United, but then went on to win 10 of the next 12 league games. His team remained in contention for the playoffs until the final day, losing 3-2 at Swansea City to finish 9th in the 2022-23 season. And as of making this video, West Brom are again back in contention in those playoff places. But away from the field of play, the Baggies' current situation is unsustainable, and it's now imperative, more so than ever before, that a new person or company buys a club and West Brom can be rid of this mismanagement. At least a little light still shines through dark times, as the owner is looking to sell and will have to accept a serious cut price offer with West Brom value dramatically reduced. If you are still here, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this style of video. Please do make sure to check out episode 1 and 2 from the series of How Not to Run a Football Club, where we delve into the mismanagement of bad owners from other clubs. And please do hit the like button so we can inform the algorithm and just get more eyes on this story. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.